A new flaw can let attackers clone YubiKey FIDO keys by extracting secrets from devices using Infineon's microcontroller called EUCLEAK. The risk is pretty low due to the high amount of knowledge required to perform this attack, but the impact could be pretty high. In other news, Cisco recently discovered and patched a critical backdoor admin account in its Smart Licensing Utility, a vulnerability that could have allowed unauthorized attackers administrative access to unpatched systems. Additionally, Google is pressing Android users to install crucial updates combating the actively exploited CVE-2024-32896 flaw, which is a high-severity vulnerability jeopardizing devices across the entire Android ecosystem. If you're an Android user, make sure to go update as soon as possible. And for the remainder of the episode, we're going to be discussing how hackers are using cunning revival hijacks to take over more than 22,000 previously deleted Python package index packages that's posing a new threat to the Python development community. How can developers protect their PyPI packages from the threat of revival hijack attacks? And what are researchers doing to help prevent these attacks as well? You're listening to the Daily Decrypt. So as I mentioned in the episode yesterday, I'm taking a little bit of a different approach towards the formatting of these episodes. I'm going to give you high-level news that you need to hear, but then I'm going to be diving into one of the stories. And so today we're going to be diving into the revival hijacking technique that is plaguing the Python package index and threatens over 22,000 previously deleted packages. And this is just surfacing now, but it's a relatively known vulnerability in the Python package index. When a developer creates a package that is used by other developers and then deletes that package, there's a warning that comes up that says this package name could be used in this revival hijacking technique if you aren't careful. And this warning is an attempt to encourage people not to delete their packages, instead just deprecate them. But of course, occasionally developers are going to have to delete their packages. In fact, around 300 to 310 packages are deleted every month from the Python package index. So the attack works as follows. As soon as a package is deleted from the Python package index, an attacker can go create a new package with the same name, where they can likely reuse all the code from the actual package, but embed some malware in there so that developers who have hard-coded in these imports of these packages, when they go to update to the newest package, it'll pull in the malware and run it and grant these threat actors access to whatever they're trying to get access to. The researchers who are bringing this to our attention are from a place called JFrog, and in an attempt to prevent widespread misuse, they manually went in and created new Python package index packages with the names of the most used packages from the list of 22,000 packages that are vulnerable to this type of attack. That way, the bulk of users won't be vulnerable to this attack, but there's still, 21,600 packages that are still vulnerable. And this type of attack can be relatively easily automated, which is the worst enemy and the thing you want to watch out for the most, right? If you can prevent automated attacks, you can prevent most attacks, but this can be relatively automated. And a lot of these packages are only used a handful of times, and they're probably being used by amateurs or people who are trying to learn how to use Python. But since they can be automated, they really only need to get one or two people to be successful. And if they're not successful, there's not a lot of time wasted because they were automated, right? So a machine can go find recently deleted packages or use the same techniques that this research firm used to identify that there are 22,000 packages vulnerable, grab those names, create new Python package index packages with those names, embed the malware, and push an update, all automated. And so, like I mentioned, these security researchers manually grabbed the top ones and created new packages under the same names. They then reduced the version number all the way down to 0.0.0.1 so that nobody was going and fetching updates for these packages and potentially opening themselves to some risk downloading malware accidentally. But what I don't fully understand is why isn't this firm grabbing all of the names of these Python packages? And maybe, a company could set up a watch list for newly deleted Python packages, like we said, about 300 per month, and then just creating new packages with those names. That would prevent the accidental downloading of malware from these packages, but I could also see a different type of attack where people spam, create, and try to monopolize all of the names of Python packages and maybe extort those names for ransom or whatever, essentially locking up the Python package index. So that's one of the downsides that I see. I'm sure there are many more as to why this isn't being done. But maybe the Python package index itself could have sort of a slow release of these names. Right after they're deleted, that name can't be used for a month or 6 months or maybe even a year. I'd have to look at some data to determine the best number for that use case, but that way they would come back onto the market and a much smaller number of people will still be using these packages, given that they've been off the market and they haven't been updated in so long. But as a developer, there are also a few things you can do. You can use what's called package pinning, which instead of in the requirements file, you just mention the name of the package. Instead, you pin a specific version to that package so that it's not going and fetching updates as the package is updated. Then when it's time to upgrade and you have the resources to research each upgrade, just to make sure it's not going to break anything in your current infrastructure, then you can upgrade the pinned package version. And if you're just swimming in resources, you can audit all the package updates for all of the packages that your infrastructure uses for any weird sort of changes or malicious looking activity. But like I said, that is way over the top. It'd be much easier to just hire a contractor to write a script that scrapes for all the packages you're using and monitors for the Python package index of those packages being deleted. There has to be some sort of log when something is deleted, even if it's recreated right away. That way, you just get a simple alert and you know to pause updates on each package.
This has been the Daily Decrypt. If you found your key to unlocking the digital domain, show your support with a rating on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It truly helps us stand at the frontier of cyber news. Don't forget to connect on Instagram or catch our episodes on YouTube. Until next time, keep your data safe and your curiosity alive.